consistent. This is the message we've been giving to all the crew, Sean and I. And we wanted to keep it the same really for the purposes of this as well, because we think it's important we do that. I just want to talk about three things, and Sean's covered most of it, and I may be repeating some of the things Sean said here, but you know, when we were in here on Wednesday morning, I think we're all feeling a little bit different than we're feeling right now, right? The first thing we've done as part of this whole process is we've taken care of Dave and we've taken care of his family. First and foremost, I think everybody in this room, everybody in this plant, and everybody that knows Dave and his family have been praying for them. And I think we all have. And you know, thank God, he looks like he's going to come through and he's going to be fine. Thank God. The point is though, is that we can't do this anymore. And I said this to you on Wednesday, we can't do this anymore. We can't put a family through this. We can't put one of our team members through this. So we're going to have to make some decisions for our families and for those people that are up at that hospital still today that we're not going to like. And some of those decisions are going to involve the way we do business, the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act about our equipment and about the way we make paper. Because if we don't, we're going to get what we've always got. And you've all heard that saying, I'm not going to repeat it. But if we keep doing the same things over and over again and don't change and don't learn and don't challenge one another and don't feel differently about things and don't fall out and don't argue just to keep a smooth ride here in the mill, we're going to keep getting what we've always got, right? It's tough, this. It's emotional, this, isn't it? Yep. Jake, it's emotional, this, isn't it? I tell you what, our emotion is nothing compared with what's in that hospital right now. Nothing. The most important thing is that family. I stood up in Harrods and said that. Most important thing to was my family. It's not different. We need to do this for that. So we've done that this last couple of days. We've really tried to do our best for that family, and we're going to try and do a bit more. We had some other suggestions from Beach Island this morning from Ken as to what we can do to help the family, and we're going to try and do that because there's so much that we can do to help them. The second thing is we got a team of people that were in here on Tuesday night that witnessed something that they've probably never witnessed before, and hopefully will never ever witness again. The trauma that they experienced that evening is something that there's no amount of training can prepare you for. No amount of training. And some of those guys were well trained. Some of them weren't, by the way. So we got to take care of those folks as well. His crew, there was a couple of maintenance guys, I'm not going to mention any names, and there was the CERT team, and then there were other team members that were involved that evening as well. Security guards, the police, and so on and so forth. We've got so many people to say thank you to because they, as Sean said, they saved Dave's life because he wasn't going to make it, I don't think, unless they did what they did. So we've got a group of people there that we need to take care of, and if you know about these things, these are not over in 6 hours or 12 hours or even a day. Some of these things can take weeks and even months to manifest themselves and become visible and present in people's lives. So we've got to be there for them then as well, and we've got to watch for them. And some of these people you know, and I want you to watch for them, if you understand what I mean. We've got to take care of each other. And then there's people in this room that were exposed as well, and we take care of them as well. And we will do that in the coming weeks and months. And then hopefully we'll get through this as Dave recovers. So the second thing is our people. The third thing is we've got to make sure this never happens again. Now we're going to get going in two areas here. The first one we've done a fantastic job of so far, and that's figuring out what happened on 18 and what happened to Dave. And Bob's led that with a group of people off 18, some engineers, some guys from the union, doesn't matter, some people that really made a difference. And they've come up with some solutions of what it is we need to do, what was the root cause, and we've had a whole team working through what's going to change and what's going to be different now so that nobody can get exposed to that hazardous energy in that area. And it's not easy, guys, is it? Can anybody tell me it's easy? It's not. But we're going to do it because we've got to. We've got no choice. And I wish I could tell you that we'd got the gold standard tissue machine 17 reel end on 18 and 12, but we don't yet. But we're going to get them. We're certainly getting it on 12 in September. And I think we just about managed to convince our senior leaders that we've got to do it on every other reel end in Kimberly-Clark quickly. So I want an appropriation written for 18 as quickly as we possibly can. Bob, you're aware of that. We had that yesterday. I want that written. I don't know how we're going to resource it just now, but I want to get it done. I want to get it done. We've got to. The second thing is when we have an incident like that, no matter how much training our CERT team had, no matter how much preparation we had, and there was a lot, these guys are fantastic, and remember they saved this guy's life the other night. At the end of the day, there's still things we can improve on. So I don't want an investigation, but I want to do like a plus delta. What went well? What could we improve on? There were some things that weren't quite right. Oh, that's fair enough. We're human beings, aren't we? Let's tick those boxes, get them right, make sure we follow through, get the things in place, make the improvements. At the end of the day, these guys saved Dave's life. That's the most important thing. Now, what can we do to get even better in case that ever happens again? So that's the second thing we're going to do as well. And I didn't announce that Scott was coming yesterday. I didn't want to make a big deal. They didn't want to make a big deal, to be quite honest, but there were some rumblings, as Sean said, that they're just going to come and close the mill. And Simon's cancelled the meeting on Monday as well, the culture to win, everything, that's it, it's all over. It's not true. I cancelled that meeting just out of respect of what we've got to do here. There's some people pretty well worn out at the end of this week. Am I right? It's been enough already. So I wanted to cancel that and deal with that way, but Scott and Susan coming to me just showed the support and emphasis to me about where do we want to take this mill, because I was prepared to ask the question, are we going to do this or are you going to do something else to us? I never even had to get to that because Scott was very clear about what he was saying to me and to Sean yesterday about we're here, we're on the ground. We've just had $70 million invested in us. What else do you need now to get this right, is what he has said to me. All we got to do now, Bob, is put that plan together and tell him. And then, once we've got that vision, all of us in this room, let's go for it. And that's what this is about now. I said to Dave's family yesterday, I said, look, I'm sorry I'm going to do this, but I'm going to use the unfortunate accident that Dave's had to make a difference in that mill. So I'm going to draw a line in the sand. I've drawn a line in the sand on 18, haven't I? I want a line in the sand for every task that we have in this mill that comes into contact with hazardous energy, and I want you to challenge it to say, why don't we put a lock on? Why don't we lock it out? We may be left with 974 at the moment of those tasks, by the way, that we know of. Why don't we make that 20 or 30 or even 0? Because I ain't looking at a family again. I ain't looking in their faces the way we looked on Wednesday morning. They didn't know if Dave was coming back to them or not that morning. And we have the right to do that right here in this room. We can do it. We make that decision right now. And it's not easy, but we could. And I think we should start thinking that we're going to lock everything out and we work back from there. Because otherwise we're going to be faced with this again. And that's different, isn't it? It's not what we've always done. But it doesn't feel good, does it? I'm not sure how much paper we'll make. But then we weren't sure we'll ever make paper again on 17 when we put that new reel end in, were we? See what I mean? We've got to think differently, guys. I'm challenging you to think differently. And the other part of it, is Scott said to me as we were walking around, he said, Simon, I've been in a lot of facilities. He's lived in Australia, he's managed facilities over there, as Scott as well. And he said, Simon, this place is old, yeah. He said, but the housekeeping is not good. He went in a couple of the office areas, our office areas, by the way, the people in this room, and said, what are we doing? Is this the offices of our leaders? We set the standard, we go out there and ask people to do these things. Can we not clean this mill up for ourselves? I'm asking you, please, go out there and clean your office. If you want some advice on how to do it, I'll show you. if you're in charge of a maintenance area, and I'm not looking at anybody in particular here, but it's right, isn't it? Him and I had a conversation the other day, and we were very honest with each other, Chuck, weren't we?
Yes, sir.
Maintenance people, what were you taught when you're in apprentice school? You clean up, you look after things, you respect your equipment. Because if you don't, it bites. Let's clean up. Bill and I had this same, right, conversation. Bill's son works at Boeing. I said, let's go and look at the workshops in Boeing. Let's go and have a look at them. Because I tell you what, I bet they're not like our workshops here. Am I right?
Right.
How much is that going to cost? 0. And yet we choose not to do it because we got to change, guys. And if you think it's the guys on the floor that need to change, take a long hard look in the mirror this weekend. Because the problem is in this room, not out there on the floor. And it's what we decide and how we decide it that will make that difference. Trust me. And it took me 2 years to convince my leadership team in Barrow of that. 2 years. And then when they twigged, they got it. And we started to move to many months and then 1,000,000 hours without an accident. So just to recap, Dave's family and Dave, most important thing, we'll continue that. Let's look after one another. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. And I need your support. I need your help. I need to take this mill forward. We've got to, for ourselves. Because if we're doing what we did to Dave the other night, I'm not sure we'll get any investment. I'm really not. I'm not sure I can even dare go ask for it. Hey, do you know what? I don't expect you to agree with me and everything I say. You know, I'm a human being. I just expect you to understand. I expect you to understand. I don't expect you to agree with me. We've got to make a difference for our people, and we can and we will. I really appreciate everybody's support this week. There's been some outstanding teamwork, outstanding humanity is the word I want to use, and I really appreciate that. So, thank you very much. Have a great weekend with your families. Enjoy. The weather's not going to be too good, but it's going to be a little bit warmer, I think. So, warm rain. I'm used to that in England. So, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.